I am too Cruella to be kind. I review the trailer for the upcoming Cruella movie starring Emma Stone next. Alright, so this upcoming Cruella movie trailer review. Before we get to that main event, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Leigh Dickey, comedian, actor, producer, reviewer, and a man you can spot just about everywhere because I've got as many spots as the 101 or 102 Dalmatians, depending on where you came into said franchise. Please do, if this is your first time here, subscribe to Leigh Dickey TV on YouTube. Subscribe to both my podcasts, the Beats and Speaks podcast and Yo Nostalgia, on your favorite podcast app and player of choice. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app and player of choice. Visit my official website, leightdickey.com. Follow the fun on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Leigh T. Dickey. Alright, now that all the housekeeping is out of the way, let's get to my review of the upcoming trailer for Cruella starring Emma Stone right here and right now. So this Cruella movie is very much an origin story of Cruella de Vil. It's sort of a prequel or spin-off, if you will, at least according to a few articles, of the 1961 animated version of the 101 Dalmatians, which personally is one of my favorites, if not my favorite Disney movie ever. I love the 1961 version of 101 Dalmatians. I have it on VHS. I've got a digital copy somewhere. I just love that movie. It's one of my favorites, you know? And, like, I've probably watched it countless times. I lost count. You know, when I was a kid, that was on heavy rotation in this house. It still is. I pop it in occasionally. But watching this trailer, which I will link in the cards and description for you to enjoy and view yourself. It stars Emma Stone, and like I said, is very much an origin story. So Emma Stone stars as Cruella de Vil, who basically starts from the bottom and works her way up to become, like, I don't want to call Cruella de Vil like a mad woman or an evil genius, but she works her way up to being Cruella, I guess, in the climax of the film, or like in this sort of prequel spin-off 101 Dalmatians universe. Of course, this isn't the first live-action depiction of the 101 Dalmatians or even Cruella de Vil. Of course, like Glenn Close had the Cruella de Vil role in the late 90s and early 2000s with the live-action 101 Dalmatians and 102 Dalmatians, its sequel. Now, you know, like I keep saying, this Emma Stone portrayal of Cruella de Vil is very much an origin story, and it delves into basically how Cruella became Cruella. This sort of like, I again don't want to call her an evil genius or an evil mastermind, but how she became who she is. And after watching this trailer, like, seeing Emma Stone done up in full Cruella like regalia and sort of like costume, she kind of looks like the singer or the musical artist Sia a little bit. Like, and I'm not meaning that as a dig at anybody, but that's the kind of vibes that I get off this trailer. And after seeing like Emma Stone in full Cruella de Vil costume, it's just like she's got the black and white hair, and she's very fashionista like, because the sort of premise of this movie is that Cruella de Vil started from the bottom as like a housekeeper at like a hotel. I think it's set in London, right? Because Emma Stone has a very British accent, and I think just from watching the scenery in the trailer, I think the movie is set in London or England somewhere. And it just, so she starts as a housekeeper at this sort of like hotel, and was like, I was meant for more. So she starts from the bottom, and she's like, I want to design art, but I also want to be rebellious, right? So she's sort of like a rebel, like just has this rebellious spirit, also wants to cause trouble, but she also wants to be this successful sort of fashion designer slash artist, and I guess by becoming Cruella completely, she sort of envelops that and like just kind of just goes over the top and you know just loses herself in the role. I know it's a Disney film, so like how far can you really go? But it's cool, honestly, in my opinion. Like Emma Stone, from what I can see in this trailer, really embodied like that Cruella role. Now the movie itself is slated to release at the end of May, May 28th, I think. I'm not sure whether or not that's going to be in theaters or on a digital or home viewing release. But either way, like chances are I will sit and give this movie a watch if I can get my hands on it, or if I see it somehow. Like I will watch this movie. But it's really, there's a lot of that origin story. It starts with, Cruella de Vil on the bottom, starting as a housekeeper, and then just having this rebellious spirit wanting to cause trouble, but also be a successful artist. And like you get that full sort of experience with the build up and her becoming like Cruella becoming Cruella, right? Whereas I don't know how much interaction, like there are promotional photos of Emma Stone as Cruella, like holding a bunch of Dalmatians on leashes, and she's got two goons already. And at the end of this trailer, she's just like, "Yeah, let's just play some music." She's just looking deadpan at the camera, and just very, "Yeah, let's just play some music to set the mood." And one of the goons like blows his nose into like a handkerchief or something, just to signify that they're the comic relief, and that was so beautiful. It just, I like the trailer. I love the 101 Dalmatians. Like I said, it's one of my favorite Disney films ever, if not my favorite Disney film that ever was. The animated version from like 1961, and I do enjoy the live action ones with Glenn Close. So I mean, I'm probably gonna watch this. Chances are I'm gonna at least watch the film once. But it's, she meets this Cruella in the film. Emma Stone meets sort of like this hot designer in fashion, or like her idol in fashion, and just like, look, man, you gotta be. And I'm paraphrasing again. I'll link the trailer in the cards and in the description. But you just like, look, you have to sort of make an impression. You gotta like stand out on your own. You gotta have the gumption to want to make it in this business. And Emma Stone's just like, well, I hope I do, right? And then you cut to like this montage of shots where like she's sewing and then designing another gown or dress or another piece of clothing, and then it's just full on get into Cruella mode, where it's just she's like descended into like madness, and she's running roughshod all over London. She's in a car chase, and like she makes this grand entrance on a motorcycle at a fashion show, and like I guess one of her goons cuts the power, and you just see this like sort of spray painted glow in the dark signage or signature of her name all over like Big Ben, which I think is super cool. Like just to have that, I'm like, there's your entrance, there's your origin story. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. It's beautiful. I will say that, the featured song in this trailer is "These Boots Were Made for Walking." Now, like, if I'm gonna knock this trailer, and I'm trying not to, I try to see the positive in just about everything in my life, especially nowadays. But it's just, I think that "These Boots Were Made for Walking" is it's catchy, okay, I'll give it that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I find myself singing the lyrics and singing the song whenever I hear it on occasion. So when I heard "These Boots Were Made for Walking" off the top of the trailer, and then it ran through basically the entire trailer, which is about a minute, I couldn't help but sing it. But I still think that "These Boots Were Made for Walking" is one of the most overused songs in film and TV. Like, it was in The Dukes of Hazzard from 2005. It was in Ocean's 8 with Sandra Bullock and Awkwafina and Mindy Kaling. I think it's overused, but do I think it fit this character, the mood, and the trailer? Yes. And will that deter me from watching the film, Cruella? No. Will I watch the film, Cruella? Yes. Why? Because I'm such a fan of the 101 Dalmatians franchise. Both the animated version, which I've said repeatedly throughout this video, is one of my favorite Disney films, if not my favorite Disney film ever, and I am a fan of Glenn Close and the 101 and 102 Dalmatians live-action movies. But there it is, my review of the Cruella movie trailer. I hope you did enjoy this video and this episode. Please do comment, like, share, subscribe. Visit my official website, LeighTDickey.com. Remember to subscribe to both my podcasts, the Beats and Speaks podcast and Yo Nostalgia on your favorite podcast app and player of choice. Rate us 5 stars, and please do leave a review. Thank you very much. Follow the fun on social media at Leigh Dickey on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe here to Leigh Dickey TV on YouTube. Thank you all for watching. Please do take care, and we will see you all again very, very soon. All right, Leigh Dickey signing off. Peace.